The US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says embattled Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell should finish his term if he wants. Let's bring in our business reporter, Edward Boyd. Ed, the Trump administration has aggressively targeted Powell and called for him to cut interest rates. He's going to do whatever he wants. And also, Trump doesn't have the power to sack him, does he?
Trump, so I think he looked into whether he could sack him, and it seems very difficult to be able to do that. So right now, they're just going to let Powell do his own thing. He's obviously the chairman of the Federal Reserve, the most important central bank in the world until May next year. And he's obviously there's been a lot of pot shots at Powell in the media for not reducing interest rates. President Trump wants rates cut by 3 whole percentage points, which would reduce America's interest loan borrowing numbers quite significantly. This has obviously been a story that's happened since Trump began his presidential campaign last year. He's been taking constant pot shots at Powell. Now, the US Federal Reserve have cut rates by 1%. Last year, they did that. And since then, they've had rates on hold at about 4.5%, so substantially higher than where interest rates are in Australia. There's several candidates that are front runners to take over as chairman of the Federal Reserve next year. One of them that's a bit of an outsider is the US Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent. Obviously, he's in a very important role at the moment, and Trump has said on the record he's doing a good job. So it's unlikely Bessent is going to move into that position as chairman of the Federal Reserve. But this morning, Bessent was on Fox Business basically saying Powell should resign if he wants to, or he could stay in the job until his chairmanship ends if he wants to as well. The other problem for the Trump administration is Powell's term as chair ends in May, but he can actually stay on the board of the US Federal Reserve for 2 more years, so he can still have a hand in voting on interest rates decision, and will still have a lot of sway and gravitas on that board, you'd imagine. So it's an interesting position to be in. We'll obviously see Powell's term end, though, in May, and it looks like that's going to happen.
The point there from Bessent is it wasn't an endorsement.
No, it wasn't an endorsement at all. And all the candidates now are starting to do media appearances. Well, Bessent speaks to the media all the time anyway in his current job, but they're all trying to jostle for position in the media and get in front of the camera so Trump sees that they're out there talking.
OK, always back self-interest. That's a sure winner, absolutely. Let's talk about the ASX. It has just opened half an hour ago. Some of the big stock winners this week has been the miners.
Iron ore mining sector's actually done really well this week. It's all because China have announced a giant hydroelectric dam project in Tibet. It's 5 dams which are going to dam the Sangpo River and create more electricity, apparently, than Australia generates in total from this one giant dam. And obviously, dams require a lot of iron ore, a lot of steel within them. So it's really improved the outlook for the iron ore mining sector. Let's have a look at a couple of share charts, though. We've got the ASX. We showed the ASX 200 there. It's up about 0.4% in early trade, back above 8,700 points. We go to the next page. We also have BHP over the past week, obviously the biggest iron ore mining company in Australia, up 8.5%. And then we was talking to Stash Butler earlier. Here is the Japanese stock market off the back of that trade deal that the US have reached with Japan. It's already up 1.8% in just half an hour of trading. We don't have prices to show you for Toyota and for some of the big Japanese car makers, but they're all up between 10 and 15%, surging off the back of this deal, because the big fear was the tariff would be 25% and would really hurt their sales in the United States.
What's it end up? 15?
15, so much lower than
and he was talking about 45, remember?
He was talking some crazy numbers, and the final number's 15. It seems like the Japanese market is pretty happy with that level.
Yep, out of the deal. Love it.